Hey there, my name is Cole Adams, and you are watching the best college basketball podcast out there that covers the entire sport of college basketball, brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. Now, here are your hosts, Sam Fetterman and Jonathan Lidskin.
Season 6, episode 48 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers. I am Sam Fetterman. That is Jonathan Lidskin. Jonathan, how are you doing tonight?
Couldn't be better, Sam. 4 days of basketball in the books, or almost in the books. Still got a couple games finishing up here, including Loyola down 11 to Mercyhurst.
Yeah.
That would be an absolutely terrible loss.
Rogers Park. They almost lost to Cleveland State on Monday.
I know.
Yeah. A lot of basketball over the last 4 days. There's going to be even more basketball. We're going to do another show tomorrow night talking about the weekend. This is going to be focused more on the week that was and the week that we've seen so far, and a little bit of preview for tomorrow as well, because there are some big games on Friday. But before any of that, I would implore you guys to follow at BBBCBB Podcast on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, in case we post at any of those places. Follow along on Twitter for the Fetterman bets this year. You're going to get a Fetterman bet tomorrow.
We're all on so far. Not good.
Well,
Not good.
you could have made a bet on the Syracuse Stony Brook women's game on Monday.
I don't bet on games I don't know. I'm just kidding. I do that all the time.
Yeah. Fetterman bets will be back tomorrow, and at any day I'm at a game, you can make a pick based on who you think is going to cover the spread in a game that I'm attending. Gives you a little bit of an interest in my live tweets.
Or you could take a side on the total.
Yeah, I'm not offering that on the Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers account. It's just
you don't have to, but it may be my bet.
Okay. Anyway, make sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, because that is where we are live. Make sure that you have our notifications on as well. So, Jonathan, where should we start? And I think it should be in Vegas.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer to start in Vegas.
So, a couple games in Vegas on Monday night. Arizona, Florida, BYU, Villanova. I've already listened to like 3 different podcasts breaking this game down. Or maybe it was just the Ion College Basketball podcast, but it felt like 3 podcasts because they're so funny. But Koa Pete is the biggest story in college basketball right now. Everyone's talking about Cam Boozer, Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsta, and those are still going to be the 3 best freshmen in the country. But Koa Pete had himself a game.
Yeah, and it wasn't just Koa Pete that I think was impressive. What stood out to me was Tommy Lloyd has, by far, in my opinion, his most physical team to this point at Arizona. And this was a coach that got criticized his first couple of seasons. They got kind of punked by Houston in the Sweet 16. Then they get beat by Princeton in the first round. And the soft allegations came out. This team ain't soft. Not one bit. And Koa Pete is every big a part of refuting those allegations as anyone else.
Oh, absolutely. Pete is a physical monster. I mean, he's not Cam Boozer, but in terms of strength and physicality from a freshman, he's number 2 in the country, I would say, in that. Yeah. The physical readiness for the college game, he's been like this for the last couple of years now. And to finally see it now on the college stage, I had my doubts about his game. But I never didn't think he would be a player that would be able to impose himself physically. And that's something that he did at a really high level. And the other talking point about Pete is that he did it against the Florida front court that was hailed as the best front court in the country coming into the season with Thomas Houck and Micah Hanlockton and Alex Condon and Ruben Chinula, 4 guys that won a national championship last year. And Koa Pete just goes for 30 on their head. Did not attempt a 3 because he doesn't need to. And
they only attempted 5 as a team.
Yeah. Jonathan, what did you think of Jaden Bradley as well?
I think he looked like a guard that has been a veteran in the Arizona program, and he looked like a senior, if we're going to be completely honest. His rim finishing was incredible. He's tough. He picked his spots well. I think he finished with 27,
27.
Sam? Like, he's one of the best point guards in the Big 12 and maybe in the country.
Definitely in the country, in my eyes.
I thought he was going to take another leap because there was going to be more opportunity with him without Caleb Love. And he showed every bit of that on Monday.
Yeah, I've always liked Jaden Bradley the last couple of years at Arizona. I was like moderate on him when he was at Alabama, but like since he got to Arizona, thought his game is just evolved at a really good rate. Was really good last year for what they needed him to be. Has always shown talent, and I think this year he's going to be their best player. Like I know Pete was their best player on Monday night. Pete is going to be there.
I'd still say it's Bradley.
Pete's going to be their highest ceiling player. If Pete is their best player, then they're going to be a top 5, top 7 team. But that's more of how good Jaden Bradley is than anything. Because what I'm saying is on a night where Koa Pete can give you 30, you can beat Florida because Jaden Bradley's that good. On a night where Koa Pete is giving you 8 points, because that's going to happen. He's not going to just average 20. I do think he'll be consistent, though. I think he'll be a very consistent player because that's kind of his game. His game isn't a high variance game that relies on making outside shots or he's like tough, physical, gets into the paint, gets to the line, catches lobs, scores from 12 feet and in. That's not a very high variance style. So I think he won't have very many single digit games, but I also don't think he'll have very many games like this. This is going to be probably his best game. And that's not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with that. He was quite simply the best player on the floor in the best game of the night. Like, if you get that out of your freshman once a season, that's awesome, especially with what Jaden Bradley is. And I thought Karchenkov was pretty solid as well.
Mm-hmm.
Another tough guy. Was very curious about how he would translate, but definitely fits the identity of a tough Arizona team. Burry's not good at all, really, on Monday. Krivas kind of still needs a little bit. Krivas is not quite there yet, but did a good job, I would say, overall. They didn't need a ton from him. But my concern about Arizona kind of still remains like, hey, this is like we didn't see a very deep rotation in this game. We only saw 7 guys play more than 6 minutes. And if they're going to be as physical as they were on Monday night, that's a thin team for that physicality. But overall, Arizona showed their ceiling on Monday night, beating a Florida team that got an awesome performance from Thomas Houck, just completely dominating the guard matchup defensively as well. I thought Fland and Xavier Lee were terrible. I thought Lee especially was really, really bad in this game. Didn't get to the line, was chucking up bad shots. I know he had 5 assists and 14 points, but I thought he was really bad. Just watching him. Fland was also not great. I thought Houck kind of really kept Florida alive for most of this game.
Yeah, on Arizona, like they're not going to be a deep team. We knew that coming into the season, and we saw it on Monday. They are 7 legit rotation players, and maybe a Aristode couple minutes, Evan Simon a couple minutes. It's what they are. Like, they have 7 guys who can play, and they needed Karchenkov to play big minutes and start because of the way Florida plays, and he did that. Yeah, I think he finished with the double-double. Del Orso couldn't play when they had the 3 bigs in because he's not big enough to guard Houck or anyone of those other bigs for that matter. On the Florida side, first of all, it was very weird to see like Florida get out-schemed here. Like, they had no answer defensively for what Arizona was doing. They put
nothing.
Jaden Bradley and Koa Pete in a ton of ball screens, and Florida just kind of played drop, and Pete would catch the ball in the high post and just power into guys and finish.
Isaac Trotter said he was a hammerhead shark.
Yeah, I mean, We saw it on the high school tape. Like he's a beast, and he runs the floor well. I think like Thomas Houck is Florida's best player. I was saying that before the season. I say that now. Listen, like they aren't winning another national championship if Alex Condon's going to disappear in the games like this again. And he got completely overmatched by a freshman on both ends of the floor.
Yeah.
Like this is Alex. Nothing against Alex Condon. He's a good player. They need him to be better than what he was on Monday night.
Yeah. It didn't look like the best front court in the country. I'll tell you that much.
No.
They got dominated, straight up dominated. But I for me, it comes back to the backcourt. Florida had arguably the best backcourt in the country last year with Walter Clayton, Elijah Martin, and Will Richard. This backcourt is like multiple standard deviations below that defensively, and probably a standard deviation below that offensively. And it's still like a solid backcourt, but I need to see more in big games from Fland and Lee than what we saw in this performance. I thought both of them really, really struggled to kind of affect the game in a way that is different from like just kind of being there and kind of being a little skilled. They didn't really find a way to impact the game defensively. They didn't really find a way to impact the game through creating good looks. They were just kind of chucking shots up, and Fland was not making them. Lee was not making them. Lee doesn't get like I need Xavier to get to the line if he's going to try and isolate. Like Xavier's not a good enough shooter to shoot 11 threes and only gets to the line for 2 free throws.
How much lower on Florida are you if I tell you that AJ Brown's going to redshirt?
I thought AJ Brown would have been a big help in this game.
I was anticipating him being their 6th or 7th best player coming into the season.
I thought defensively he would be their best guard. And I also I will say like they need Ingram to probably give them more than 11 minutes.
They have one wing. If they have one wing, if AJ Brown isn't playing.
Yeah, I'm definitely like I wouldn't say I'm concerned about Florida. Like you lost to a really, really good basketball team, but my antlers are up. Like something is amiss here with this Gators team compared to like they were really good for a lot of this game, and like a couple bounces go their way, and we're not having this conversation at all. But I think that this game kind of exposed some of their weaknesses, and I'm definitely like antlers up going into. Well, they don't really have another huge game until December, but they play Florida State on Tuesday, Miami on Sunday, next Sunday. Those are 2 games where I'm kind of antlers up. Are they going to be dominant, win by 20? Because that's kind of what we've come to expect from Florida as a program right now. Mm-hmm. Or are they just going to kind of play it close, maybe squeak it out, maybe lose one of those games? I don't know. That's not out of the question at the moment. Florida is a good basketball team. I expect them to be at the very least like a 4 or 5 seed, but they had a lot of the things that would let me believe they're closer to their floor than their ceiling on Monday night.
Yeah, I'm far from out on them. Todd Golden's too good of a coach to be completely out on them after a game like this, and also like Arizona might just be really good. Like, yeah, we gotta, we're about halfway through the first week of the season. We got a lot of basketball to play left, and Florida played tonight and absolutely hammered North Florida. Not that we're gonna
North Florida really bad.
Not that we're gonna take away much from that, but yeah, like they have opportunities ahead of them. They have Florida, like you said, Florida State next week, Miami next week, some important games after that. This is still a very capable team, and I think that they're going to cause mismatches and problems for a lot of teams that can't play to their physicality. But like I said, like they need more from Condon.
Yeah, I'm very, very curious to see how they step up in like the big games against teams that can match their athleticism. The Dukes, the UConns, the Kentuckys of the world, and that's who you need to beat to win a national championship. When I say I'm concerned about Florida, it's because the expectation has now been set at making a Final Four, being a national championship contender, and I think that's the greatest compliment you can give to a program.
You are defending a national title with 4 key rotation players from the team last year. Like, if they get Fland and Lee figured out, they will be just fine.
Absolutely.
Right now, no, they're not a national championship caliber team, but like not every team is on November 3rd.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to talk about the other game in Vegas?
Yeah, let's do that.
Where
do you want to start here? It feels like there's so much to discuss.
I thought BYU was gonna hammer Villanova, and they didn't.
I didn't, but like, I never really thought BYU was gonna lose.
Kebaketa was the best player on the floor in this game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing for BYU. Like AJ DeBonsta wasn't bad in this game, but I feel like I feel like
MVP.
Like I feel like he can do so much more. Like he had moments where he was like, oh my, he had a couple finishes in this game that were out of this world. He only took 1 3. I feel like when AJ is like really cooking, and he was 2 for 7 from the line. I feel like when AJ is really cooking, he's mixing all of his levels of scoring. He's kind of rhythm dribbling into threes, using those long strides to create separation on the perimeter, and also using those strides to just gallop to the basket. He gallops. He was good. He was really good in this game. He's 21, 6, and 3. Not a bad performance at all. But he wasn't the best player on the floor. And it's kind of what you expect when you're a top 3 draft pick. I don't want to be negative about AJ at all because I think he's awesome, and I think he had at least for a debut a solid performance, and I think he's really good. I'm going to see him in person next week against UConn at the Garden. Really excited for that one. But the thing about BYU is I do think that when we look at this team, hey, they won this game only attempting 17 threes. And I think there's a little bit of a credit there to Villanova's defense running BYU's guys off the line. I think they did a good job of limiting the good looks from beyond the arc, kind of forcing them to go play inside, go play that pick and roll game instead of being able to ball reversal into threes the way that we know BYU wants to do, the way that BYU's roster was built. I mean, they were 25th in three-pointers per field goal last year in the country, and they only took 17 in their first game. BYU is going to be a team that wants to get up 33s a game. They didn't do that, and I think that's a credit to kind of Villanova's toughness. Because if Villanova is going to be one thing this year, they're probably going to be tough. Because that's Kevin Willard.
Yeah. Did not think that BYU would get out rebounded in this game. That came as a little bit of a shock. I think AJ was good. I think there are definitely some things that he needs to clean up. First of all, like he can't be going 2 of 7 from the free throw line.
No.
Like that's the difference between like winning comfortably and not winning comfortably in this game right there. And he also, I was impressed with his defense at times, but 0 steals, 0 blocks. I feel like he probably needs to do a better job of creating havoc on defense.
Yeah, his arms are long. He's really athletic. Like this is a guy that should be like a defensive stock claiming demon.
Right.
And again, I think he was good defensively in this game. Like I think
on the positive side, some of his drives and finishing is just super impressive. Like it's ridiculous. Nobody can challenge that dude at the rim. It's at some points. And Kebaketa really won BYU this game down the stretch without even really touching the ball offensively. Like BYU was kind of just spamming the ball screens with Rob Wright and then Keita would get into the low post and, set whatever you want to call it, the Gortat screens, or I call them seals because that's what I called them growing up. But I think Keita made a huge impact without really appearing in the box score very much. He only finished with 8 points, 7
He also
rebounds.
had 3 blocks, though.
8 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks. His arms are just ridiculously long. Like, if he was, like, if he had this wingspan at 6'10", he would be in the NBA already.
I mean, what is he, like 6'7"?
He's like 6'7", 6'8". Like, Ken Palm lists him as 6'8". So
yeah, I think that's generous. I want to give a ton of credit, though, to Villanova for fighting back in this game. They were down 14, outmatched talent-wise early in the second half. Like, a lot of days, a lot of teams would kind of just go away. Villanova didn't. They fought back. They took the lead. Bryce Lindsey was awesome. Chris Jeffrey, the freshman, was really good as well. And like, this is on a game where, hey, Caden Lewis is supposed to be one of your top guys. He's a freshman making his debut. He's not like an AJ DeMonsta level freshman. Didn't have his best game. Matt Hodge, another guy making his debut, didn't have his best game. So when you were able to get that level of production from Lindsey, they really did a good job kind of sticking in this game and not giving up.
Yeah, a couple things for me on the Villanova side. One, do we buy that Villanova is going to be this team that just gets up a ton of threes and like kind of wins high variance games? Because they shot 35 of them. And I don't think that, like, I think BYU's athleticism on the perimeter like prevented them from getting to the rim as much as
BYU had 5 blocks in this game. They didn't want to challenge him at the rim.
So there's that component of it. Like
BYU has like 3 second side rim protectors.
It's like, in theory, like, Villanova hits 2 more of those threes and they win 72-71. Obviously, that's not how the game is played, but it's fun. It's fun to throw hypotheticals. The second thing is that Devin Askew should never see the floor for this team.
Okay.
No, ever.
Hold on. One shot with the fate of the universe on the line. Who would you rather have taken it? Devin Askew or Brock Cunningham?
Brock Cunningham? I think.
Yeah, I don't know what Devin Askew is doing. Like, this guy,
okay,
I hate to say this about
Brock Cunningham, because somehow if he makes it, at least he'll know not to do it again.
I hate to say this about college basketball players on the pod, but Devin Askew needs to get a freaking job, man.
Devin Askew finished 0 of 3 with 0 points, 3 personal fouls, and
he took a big shot in the last minute.
He was minus 18 in a 5-point freaking loss.
In 13 minutes. 13 minutes.
Caden Lewis was not good, and he was so much more useful than Askew in this game.
I don't know how.
Bryce Lindsey was spectacular.
I mean, Lindsey's got to start over.
By the way, before we go on, we're on a Hannah Steinbeck watch. 9 points, 9 boards at the half on 4 of 5 shooting.
We'll get into him. Chris Jeffrey should be the first guard off the bench for Villanova, and Bryce Lindsey should be the starting 2 guard. Like, Devin Askew should be like the 3rd or 4th guard off the bench. Like, I might rather have
Perkins is good. Lewis, despite the fact that he didn't shoot well and didn't have a good game in general,
2nd or 3rd guard off the bench.
I think you can see it with the Caden Lewis. Like, he's smooth.
Oh, yeah.
He'll get more comfortable in their offense. Chris Jeffrey was awesome. They have 2 really good freshman guards there.
Absolutely. Want to talk Tuesday?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I had anything else on this. I'm still not like sold that Rob Wright is an elite point guard. He's a very good point guard. His defense is obviously a huge question mark. Like, I think that like putting him in ball screens is generally a positive thing for BYU. but also I think there's got to be some give and take with how much he has the ball and how much AJ has the ball.
Yeah, I agree.
Like BYU, and also you have Richie Saunders, who obviously was really good too last year. But you have three really dynamic offensive players, and you have to figure out your offense that benefits all three of them.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Would like to. There's only a couple high major versus high major games that we've seen so far. So let's get into the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Duke and Texas.
Yeah.
Jonathan, we talked about this a little bit last night on the phone. We both agreed that we left this game feeling no different about Duke and feeling no different about Texas.
Yeah, something that we reiterated a lot in the preseason was Duke's offense is always behind their defense to start the season, at least under John Shire. And that has never ended up being a bad thing because their offense comes along as the season goes on and as their players get more familiar with the system. I don't think that Duke's offense in the first half was bad because their players weren't used to the system. I think their offense was bad in the first half because they played bad. Cam Boozer got called out at half by his head coach for playing soft. And he was missing shots he normally makes. He was seeking out, he was looking for fouls. And in the second half, he flipped the switch and the team as a whole flipped the switch. I thought John Shire pushed a lot of the right buttons in the second half. Firstly, getting Caleb Foster into the game when he did. Jordan Pope starts heating up a little, hits a couple tough step back threes. Caden Boozer comes out of the game. Caleb comes in. Jordan Pope really doesn't do anything significant the rest of the game. And then Caleb played really confidently offensively as well, which I thought was big. Secondly,
I want to get into Duke a little bit and just say this is going to be I don't think they have the ceiling that last year's team did overall on the defensive end because you don't have Malawach, Flag, Brown as your front court. That was ridiculous. And it's going to be hard to kind of reach any of the heights that last year's Duke team did. But Duke's going to be a really, really good basketball team whenever Cam Boozer is on the floor. Because he can be the best player on the floor scoring 0 points or scoring 20 points. Obviously, his first half wasn't great, but you could still see him impacting the game on the defensive side of the ball. He was making his presence felt. He was a little soft offensively, definitely looking for fouls. But again, gets to the line a ton in the second half. He can rack up easy points there. Just gets rebounds like glass cleaner, total glass cleaner. There's a reason he's the winningest player in grassroots and high school basketball history.
you've said it before. He looks like a man,
because he impacts the game in every category. It's not the same as Flag, who did who had the highlight plays in every category and was just
and Flag was more of a 3-level scorer than Cam.
Yeah, Flag was better at kind of
in part because they play different positions.
Yeah, Flag's better at getting to his mid-range off the bounce, getting to his shots off the bounce. Cam is probably a better spot-up 3-point shooter. We didn't see that on Monday night, on Tuesday night. Isaiah Evans kept them kind of afloat in the first half.
Yeah, he really did. His shooting got them out to a, I think, 7-point lead, and then obviously Texas goes on a run and takes the lead into the half. I think that if you want to watch how somebody's gravity affects the game in college basketball this year, watch Isaiah Evans. Duke had a sequence in the second half where they run a flare screen for Isaiah Evans. Caleb Foster was handling the ball. Not only did Evans' man follow him, but Caleb Foster's man completely left Caleb and jumped to Evans on the flare, and Caleb Foster stepped into a 3 and hit it. A couple possessions later, they come down. They run the exact same flare screen. This time, only one man trails, but he plays the 3 so hardly that Evans has a wide open backdoor cut for a layup. not only did that show exactly what you like could think of with Isaiah Evans, where how he like impacts the game offensively and with more than just his shot, but eventually, one of these days, it will become common knowledge that John Shire runs some of the best offensive sets in the entire country.
I want to get into the Texas side of this a little bit. Where do you want to start with that?
They're kind of exactly what I thought they would be.
Yeah, they're just kind of a team of like junkyard dogs.
Like we said, like, you know, we think the same of these teams coming out of this game. And that's especially true for me with Texas. They're going to have to grind out games. Like, they're going to have to be annoying to play against, which is like very weird based on like what we watched with Xavier and when Sean Miller was there.
When I look at this Texas team, I mean, the 6 assists to 16 turnovers in this game is like, yeah, that makes sense when you're playing against a team like Duke. This Texas team is not going to play pretty offense. I don't think they have playmakers. Nobody had more than 2 assists. That was Simeon Wilcher, who's like a 15% usage rate guy at St. John's last year.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to be a 15% usage rate guy at Texas. Matas Vokatitis is a load down low for sure, but he's sloppy,
Yes.
very sloppy, and he's kind of getting his first taste of the biggest level of competition. He played at FAU last year, was pretty solid, but I mean, if you look at the assist to turnover rate that he had last year, you can see that it's a very black hole type of thing, and you're not getting a lot of short roll stuff out of him. You're not getting a lot of passing out of doubles, so you don't really have any options there. Jordan Pope, again, much more of a scorer than he is any sort of a passer. 12% assist rate last year. Kendall Weaver, not a guy like really good defender, not a guy who's gonna kind of make any plays for you. I think Dalen Swain is this team's best playmaker, and Dalen Swain took 18 shots in this game. I can't think that they're going to be very good on days where Dalen Swain takes 18 shots. He's just not good enough of a shooter to have that type of offensive diet without getting to the line.
Texas is a roster made up of like a lot of players who do one specific thing really well and basically nothing else well. Jordan Pope, incredible perimeter scorer, cannot score from anywhere else on the floor. Like will not finish at the rim. Like really doesn't get into the mid range. Like Tremont Mark cannot shoot a lick from the outside, but will hit tough mid range jumpers. Right?
Yes.
Dalen Swain, I agree. Like he will not only be this team's best player, he will be the best playmaker, and I think he'll be much better in games where you don't have like the physicality that Duke brings. Like Duke has wing defenders that get after you. They have guys inside that aren't afraid to like push you around. I think he will have an excellent season. I don't think this was a great matchup for him. Texas needs to find some depth, and they need other players to like come along and develop other skills, to be honest. Because like otherwise, like this team's going to have to win a lot of like 65-62 ugly games.
All right, Jonathan, do you want to talk about any other games in depth?
You watched all of Bradley Bonaventure, right?
Yeah, we can touch on that. I don't really want to go like.
Yeah, no, we don't have to go deep.
We've got preview stuff to hit for tomorrow. We've got some helmet stickers to give out. So just kind of.
I have a segment for us to do.
Yeah.
As well.
Is it?
Yeah. So I'll just go. No, it's not the Campbell Fearometer.
No. Is it time for a Valley update?
It could be. It could be.
I mean, we're going to talk Bradley Bonaventure.
Let's do Valley update.
Valley update. Let's talk Bradley Bonaventure.
So it does look like I'll start with the positives for Bradley. It does look like Jaquan Johnson took a leap. I think.
By the way, Mercyhurst 73, 75. Loyola Chicago 65. Final.
That's a really bad
That
loss. That's a horrendous loss.
This is Loyola, by the way. Ken Pom started the season 99. They're going to be outside the top 125. They're probably going to be outside the top 130 in 20 minutes when I refresh this page. They were 20-point Ken Pom favorites in this game, and they lost by 10.
Mercyhurst right now, Sam, you know where they are in Ken Pom, I'm assuming.
360.
360th. The only teams lower than them, Wagner, Chicago State, both in the same conference as Mercyhurst, Coppin State, Arkansas Pine Bluff, and of course, our beloved Mississippi Valley State.
Yeah, and Mercyhurst got blasted by Northwestern.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That is a horrific loss, but good for Mercyhurst.
Yeah, Gary Manchell, good ball coach, like really good ball coach. Has won over 500 games.
Are you seeing them this year?
I am. In fact, I am. Because I'm seeing them here at Syracuse, and I'm seeing them probably once in the city over the spring.
Well, I cannot tell you what Mercyhurst looked like last year in the non-con, but
not bad though. They were not bad.
I am pretty confident right now that we need to congratulate Mercyhurst, their players, their coaches, and their fans, because that is their biggest Division I win to date by far.
Yeah, easily. They had some really big wins when they were a D2 program. They won a lot of Division II games. They made a lot of Division II NCAA tournaments. This is their biggest win as a Division I program, no doubt.
All right, back to this Bradley Bonaventure game. Like good fight by Bradley to get back into this. Bonaventure's just looked better than them. They looked more physical. They looked more like a well-oiled machine. And I mean, Buddy Simmons just took over this game down the stretch. I do have some like positives for Bradley, like the two guards, Birch and Johnson, who like I said needed to be their best players for them to like achieve the goals they wanted. Those guys look good. I thought AJ Smith was horrendous. Like completely looked out of sorts. And like this team needs to find more of a bench. Like I don't think them playing 8 guys is like the recipe to them being really good.
Yeah.
Montana Wheeler had flashes.
On Bonaventure, just for the 8-10 audience here. Yeah, Buddy Simmons was awesome in this game. I thought that the way they controlled the glass was awesome as well. Bonaventure did. I think they won the rebound battle 44-29. That's pretty significant. They were in passing lanes. They were blocking shots. I think they were just a much, much, much more physical team. We had our concerns about Grahovic physically on the show. On what's it called? He played well.
He was good. He was very good.
Caden Charles was awesome. The best thing about this for me is that Bonaventure was good, really good in this game. And DeSante Bowen, it felt like, didn't really make an impact on the game. We know what DeSante Bowen is. He was kind of the heart and soul before he got hurt last year for Bonaventure. And they were really good. And it was not always a guy that was going to put up 20 points, but he was going to impact the game in a bunch of ways. I didn't think he was good on Monday, but Bonaventure gets the win because their other guards stepped up. I'm still like kind of interested to see if there's going to be more of Akil Lonati going forward. He only played 5 minutes in this game. I think he's a big ceiling raiser for them. There was a lot of hype of him coming out of Italy. I think obviously Bonaventure's fine right now with what they had. Again, not much of a bench in terms of how much they played. Kind of missed on like that. Amari Marshall would be a big piece for them. Seems like Simmons and Charles are their scoring guards. Those guys were really good.
So One thing I will say to like kind of calm the issue with Bradley, or maybe not calm the issue, because like there really should be no panic. Like, you played a close game against an A10 team that like we think can be good. You don't really see like front courts in the Missouri Valley that have a player like Grahovic and Mitchell. Like you'll see front courts with one or the other, like really athletic, four-man, or like really physical, undersized five-man. Like you don't really see teams that have both of those.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
a tough
Missouri
matchup.
Valley.
Anything else?
And like both of those guys gave Bradley problems, so like that's why I'm saying that.
Anything else on Monday you want to talk about?
Murray State looks really good.
Yeah, we're really.
I didn't think they would come out of the gate and look that good, but I mean that game was not as close as the final score indicates.
No. You want to give some helmet stickers out?
Yeah, I got 4.
I have 7.
Oh, okay. I actually really have 5, but I combined 2 of them.
All right, go.
First one, I mean, very obviously Koa Pete, like probably the best freshman debut since like Zion.
Okay, I was not going for guys that we've already discussed.
Okay, the other 3 are things we have not discussed at all.
Okay, go.
Flynn Clayman.
Okay.
His debut coaching at High Point, they came out and hammered a really solid Furman program in the Field of 68 tip-off finale. Finale for that site. Yeah, they look good. They scored 97. That team looks like they haven't missed a beat. Even with a lot of new players. Also, shout out Owen Aquino.
Podcast legend.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah, give all of yours.
Okay, third, Eastern Washington and Dan Monson, and like really that whole team. They're 0-2, but they came out Monday night and kept it close with UCLA for the entirety of the game. That was a game pretty much until the final couple minutes. And then 2 nights later, last night, Sam, they come out and they play Loyola Marymount really tough and they have that game and they lose it in the final couple minutes as well.
Yeah, they should have won. That's a game that they really had no excuse to lose.
And I'm not just saying this. I'm not just saying this because Eastern Washington has like played 2 close games against teams that they should be worse than. Andrew Cook is supposed to be their best player, and he's hurt. They're playing without their best player, and they're still fighting and playing close games against teams that should be way better than them.
And your last one?
This team's only played 1 game so far, but I think it is probably one of the more underrated results from the first couple days of the season. Nevada comes out and hammers Louisiana Tech by 27.
Yeah.
A couple nights ago.
Absolutely.
Chuck Bailey had 24. He was a guy I was really high on in the MVC as a younger player. He obviously transfers out of the Missouri Valley and is now at Nevada and looks to be in for a big year. This is a Nevada team that like they weren't picked very high in the Mountain West. Like we thought they would maybe be down compared to the rest of the league. And they look so far through 1 game like they could be one of the better teams in the conference.
All right, my turn. My first helmet sticker is Ebuka Okori of Stanford.
Yes.
I texted you on Tuesday night. This is my new favorite point guard. When Kyle Smith says he has a guy, believe him. Believe him. This is not one of the highest ranked recruits. Not a guy that a lot of people were talking about. Kyle Smith goes on Field of 68 ACC preview and says, we got a kid. We got a point guard. Like, he's really good. And he's a freshman. And I was like, okay. Interesting. 26 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 32 minutes in his college debut against Portland State. Was the best player on the floor.
Kyle Smith is a better evaluator than us. Shocker.
It changes the ceiling because Jeremy Dent-Smith was good in this game too off the bench. And that was who we thought was going to be their best player. Okori is their best player. But Chisholm Okpara, a guy who was really good for for Harvard 2 years ago, kind of struggled to adjust last year, had a really good game. So very, very good offensive game for Stanford. The defense, they allowed 79 points to Portland State. That's a little tough. But Portland State's supposed to be solid. David Bolden, freshman at NJIT, college debut at Rose Hill. Packed out Rose Hill, by the way. They did a really good job.
They love Magpio.
18 points, not anymore. 18 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. In his college debut, hit 4 threes. NJIT takes down Fordham as big-time underdogs. Defends really well. Only 0.94 points per possession for the Rams. Very impressive performance by Grant Billmeyer's team. Probably the second biggest win of his tenure behind the win against Vermont in year 1. I'm going to give a shout out to Jeremy Schulman, the head coach at UT Martin. They went 9-11 in the Ohio Valley last year, but this is a guy who won a lot of games at the JUCO level at Eastern Florida State for 15 years. Comes out. I know that they've dealt with a lot of injuries, has UNLV. They were playing without Miles Shea, but this is a game that UT Martin dictated. UT Martin dictated how this game was played throughout, and they won. They hit 11 threes. They got to the line 48 times. Shout out to Dragos Lungu, transfer from San Diego, and Andrea Bukamirovic. They led the way with 23. By the way, listen to this starting lineup for UT Martin and listen to the names. Filip Radakovic, Filip Petkovsky, Dragos Lungu, Andrea Bukamirovic, and Matas Deniusas. Basically every single player on this team.
This is mid-major Illinois.
This, Jonathan, is the UT Martin Armands.
That's what we will refer them as the rest of the year.
They are officially Armand's favorite team. Helmut sticker from Michael Ajayi.
Yeah, he was.
Kind of me doing
he was in consideration.
Just kind of me doing an early victory lap on like him bouncing back. 24 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. Best player on the floor in Butler's win over Southern Indiana. Ryan Sable from Buffalo. The Bulls got a big win coming back from down big against Southern Miss on Monday night. Sable dropped 32 points, hit 7 threes. A good performance for him. He was really good last year for a bad Buffalo team. Maybe the Bulls can take a step forward this year. Who knows? Angelo Brizzi was good in this game too. That's a transfer from Longwood via Davidson and Villanova. Now at his 4th school. 2 more, both 2 German freshman big men. Start with Hannes Steinbach, Jonathan, because you knew I wasn't going to get through a show without talking about Hannes Steinbach, one of my favorite players in the country. Dominant in his college debut, 21, 7, and 6. And he's doing it again tonight. Another big performance for him. Cannot wait to see what he looks like on Sunday against Baylor and that front court. And then the other German big man was a guy that I texted you about a couple of weeks ago, Amon Dories from Bucknell. Freshman debut, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists on 8 for 10 from the field. Was the best player for Bucknell in a 78-70 win over new CUSA team, Delaware. So that's a big win. That's a big win for the Bison. Definitely looks like Dories can be maybe not Noah Williamson level good, but an adequate replacement in a league that lost a lot of talented big men. No more Justin Vanderbond in that league. No more Williamson, obviously. No more Matt Rogers. No more Jeff Woodward. No more Milos Ilic. No more Caleb Kenny. Basically, every good big man in that league is gone. I mean, Aiden Kehoe is still at Navy, I guess. He's all right. He's fine. Allen's back from Army, gone. So a lot of a vacuum in terms of who's going to be the best big man in that league. If Amon Dories plays the way he did on Monday night, Bucknell's got something, especially with Bijek and the way Bijek looked as well. He scored 14 and had 7 rebounds. So those are my helmet stickers. What was your segment that you wanted to bring on?
I got 8 sentences, takes, whatever you want to call them. They're not really takes. We're gonna do some buy or sell. I got 8 things here. You're gonna tell me. You can call them reactions, call them overreactions. They're not my opinions. They're just takes you can possibly have, and we're gonna decide whether we're buying or selling these, Sam.
I like this. We should do this segment more.
Okay, I can take care of that. All right, the first one, probably the most. It was something that got talked about a lot in the first couple of days, and we'll kind of get into it here. The Mountain West will get no more than 2 bids in the NCAA tournament. Buying or selling?
I'm selling. I still think I don't know who's gonna get the bids.
The league's had a really rough couple days.
League's had a really rough couple days, but Jonathan, it's been 4 days.
Right, dude.
Like these teams play a lot of quad 1, quad 2 games. They'll have the chance to avenge this. Boise State, like, I still think they can get in, even with a loss to a D2. Like, Utah State looked really good.
Of course they can. They can win the conference tournament.
Utah State looked really good. San Diego State, we know how good they are. And New Mexico looked really good. So I'm not concerned about them getting. Now, I don't think they get more than 3.
Don't forget about Grand Canyon beat PFW by.
And I'm going to say I think more than 3 is pretty off the table.
So here's what happened in the first couple days for the Mountain West. Obviously, like, Air Force lost to Belmont. That was expected. Fresno State lost to USC Upstate. Not a good loss. Not a good loss at all. Sorry. Boise State obviously loses to Hawaii Pacific, a team that received no votes in the D2 preseason poll.
Shout out Hawaii Pacific, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. San Jose State loses to Utah. Not a big deal. But then the other notable one, UNLV. You mentioned it. You gave the shout out to them. They lose 81-86 in Josh Pastner's debut to UT Martin. No Miles Che, though. He is dealing with an injury right now. So, yeah, I'm probably selling it as well.
Loyola Chicago, Jonathan, 138th in Ken Pom.
Yeah, not good.
They're down.
I lose points in our league for that. That's bad. Obviously, San Diego State looked good. They're still getting healthy. New Mexico, Utah State, GCU, and Nevada. So obviously, very possible still to get more than 2. Obviously, right?
All right, give me the next one.
Your second one. Xavier is a bottom 2 team in the Big East.
I have not watched DePaul, so I'm not gonna be able to buy it. And
screw it. I'll buy it.
Seton Hall didn't look bad, but man, Xavier has looked really bad against
2
Marist.
wins by a combined 9 points against Lemoyne and Marist.
They would have lost to Marist if Marist made some free throws.
Yeah, and they didn't really score it either. Yeah.
Xavier's going to have a real problem scoring.
Like, they can make fun of Sean Miller all they want and, get their laughs in for the Duke loss the other night. It could be a really rough season for Xavier. And I'm pretty confident in saying that they downgraded going from Miller to Patino.
Oh, no doubt.
So,
You're cutting out.
Number 3. Am I okay?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. If you need me to leave the stream and come back, I can.
We're good.
Okay. All right. Number 3. The Campbell Fighting Camels are a legitimate contender in the CAA.
I'm going to sell, but I think they're a legitimate tier 2.
So Campbell goes out and hires John Andresic, who was the defensive coordinator at Florida last year, obviously the national champs. And, You look at Campbell, and they're 0-2 right now. Lost to Wisconsin and West Virginia. The Wisconsin loss, the score looks worse than it was. This was like a 67-62 game. Or sorry, 57-52 before it got out of hand. Like, it was close throughout. And then, of course, tonight, they play West Virginia really tough. A West Virginia team that you like quite a bit, Sam.
Yeah, I just don't think this Campbell team's talented enough to be to compete with Towson and Wilmington and Charleston.
Yeah, Campbell held West Virginia tonight to 1.07 points per possession. So, yeah,
that's not like a. They made a lot of free throws at the end.
I mean, high major team playing against the CAA team with the first year head coach. I think 1.07 is a pretty impressive defensive performance.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, we don't really think West Virginia is going to be a terrific offensive team.
No, but I still would expect them to score over 1.07 points.
I agree. I watched that game. I thought Campbell was good. They really fought. They'll get into a lot of dogfights. Not sure how many they'll win, but I think they can be a tier 2 team in the CAA.
Okay. Murray State and Northern Iowa are the clear top 2 in the Missouri Valley.
Bye. Holy crap, bye.
I didn't get to watch the Illinois State game yet. And it seems like, they could have had that game.
There was nothing wrong. It's just I mean, Ohio's good, but okay. This is more of a Northern Iowa and Murray State take than it is an Illinois State take.
Here's my one thing that I'll say that is positive for this, just looking at the box score. Illinois State's defense looked horrendous in their exhibition game that I was at. And I know that we're not supposed to take a lot away from these games, but it did. It looked horrendous. It did not look horrendous tonight. And Ohio they're not a good offense, but they're not a bad one either. So, hold the phone right now. No, we're not throwing out the panic button yet. Cam Barnes only played 4 minutes tonight. He's coming back from injury. This was going to be a good game. Illinois State had their chances. They did not start well. And Ohio came away with the victory. But Northern Iowa comes out tonight, pummels UC school? Or sorry, Northridge, CSU Northridge.
That was a really impressive win.
Our guy, Andy Newman, they beat him by, what did it end up being, 30?
31.
Yeah, they beat him by 30. My preseason player of the year in the Missouri Valley goes for 23.
29.
And 5 assists. We're splitting hairs here, but they look really good. We obviously talked about Murray State against Omaha. They looked really good. So, yeah, really good start to the season for my top 2 in the Missouri Valley.
Yeah, agree.
Number 5, we got 4 more. Fetterman, I'll let you take this one. Siena should be the favorite in the MAC.
Bye. I mean, I had Siena as my preseason.
Oh, did you? I thought you had Manhattan.
No.
Did that change at all with the Sidor stuff?
No, it changed before that.
Okay.
It changed before publication date of the preview. I had Siena number 1.
Okay. Well, good on you. I think you're right. That Siena team's good.
Yeah.
Number 6. I'm buying this one just because, I talked about this in the offseason. FAU has fixed Cannon Carlisle.
Yeah, they did.
It's only 1 game, and they were playing another mid-major team in Boston College. But Cannon Carlisle goes for 19 points, 118 offensive rating, 24 usage. Was efficient. He hit 4 threes.
I think this is just kind of his level.
Yeah.
I know he had some big games in the Pac-12, but he was dreadfully inconsistent. I think this is his level. Being a mid-major player, playing against teams like Boston College, that's his level.
Yeah. They got a player in Sissoko, too.
Oh, no doubt.
All right. Speaking of Cannon Carlisle, Indiana has a top 10 offense.
Given where I ranked them in the preseason, I feel like I have to buy this.
Yeah.
Like,
it took one freaking year to one offseason to turn this offense into from borderline unwatchable to among the best in the country.
I watched this entire game. Like, I couldn't turn off Indiana basketball because I was liking what I watched. Like,
usually it was for a different reason.
This is a podcast where we have talked an enormous amount of shit about Indiana basketball over the last couple of years. I enjoyed every minute of watching this game.
Less than 2 years ago, you were not sitting in the same spot as you are now. I was not sitting in the same spot as I am now. You and I were on KenPom hitting refresh over and over again to see how many spots Indiana dropped because they almost lost to Army. This team is fun. Their offense is going to shoot threes. They're going to shoot them well. They're going to be really good. The defense, we'll figure it out. But they made the right hire.
If Sam Alexis is going to score like he did on Wednesday night, then they can play him and be a lot better defensively than we thought.
Yeah, I mean, the offseason, there was offseason buzz with him. I mean, this was a good player at the mid-major level. He didn't have to play for Florida last year. They had enough. You know, just because he didn't play very much doesn't mean he wasn't the same guy. So, all right, and then the last one, and this has nothing to do with, really, I shouldn't say nothing. This has very little to do with like the actual game results and what we've seen so far, but it's just something that I have noticed in the first couple days. If you don't recruit internationally, you will be behind the 8 ball.
Bye.
We talked about Steinbach. Dame Sarr did some really good things.
Talked about Amondoris.
Like we can go on and on. Sarr did some really nice things to do.
I'm not even saying you have to like get international.
You don't have to be Illinois.
You don't have to get international players on your team. Like, you really don't. But you have to do your due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do your due diligence.
If you look into international players and decide that you can get players that would better fit your system, are better for your program than those guys that are available, do it. But Bogovac for UNC, Avdalas wasn't even that good and still finished with 10 assists.
Yeah, I'm gonna say definitely at the high major level. The mid major level is a little more difficult because because you're contending with an eye.
It's also a lot harder to evaluate.
If you can just throw $2 million out there and say, hey, I need a 22-year-old that's gonna make $2 million. You can find one in Europe that's gonna be really good.
Yeah, at the mid major level, I also think it's tougher to eval because if a guy's averaging, almost near double figures with pros in the Euro League,
Kamardine had 13 points on 9 shots and 4 assists for Mississippi.
Doman had some really nice moments for Murray State.
Yeah, I was just mentioning Kamardine for the sake of an older guy.
Yeah, it's far from a guarantee.
Rapik was everywhere on the stat sheet for Kansas State. He had
some of these guys are ready to play. Some of these guys are younger. Some of them are older. Some of them are more projects than some of them are more potential than going to come out and be your best player. And obviously, the deeper you get into the mid-major level, it's harder to eval because who am I to say that this guy averaging 7 points in the second division of some league can come over and play right away at what level? It's a tough eval, but you said it best, Sam. You have to do your due diligence. You really do.
Yeah. All right, Jonathan. Let's talk a little bit about tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm assuming we'll start with the big one.
Yeah, VCU, Utah State.
Colgate Northeastern, the game Sam Fetterman will be at.
VCU, Utah State on Urban Edge Network.
What? It's on what?
You're not going to be able to watch that game. Let's just put it that way.
You said something that sounded like a sneeze.
Just
this is a great game.
Yeah,
it's a great game.
I don't really have like a ton of preview thoughts on these games. I just kind of want to like acknowledge that they're happening and like kind of do like a little. Should we do our own final four?
The old Titus and Tate. We speak your name.
Should we do a little final 4-1 of our own?
I don't want to steal segments here. We can call it something else.
I don't really want to pick these games either, but
no. I don't think we have to. I just like
there's a lot of really fun games tomorrow. I gotta
get excited about these. This is Utah State's opener, by the way. They have not played yet.
This is going to be it's not. They played.
Or they played a non-D1.
But this is going to be one of my favorite slates of the year, and I'm really excited that like the Colgate game is at 5 because I can get back by 9:15. Sorry, like 8. I can get back by like 8:15, 9:15, 8:15, 8:30. If I'm done, if I get done with Cohen and Langle quickly.
Yeah. So
I can watch the second half.
VCU Utah State, the Ryan Odom Bowl, despite the fact that he's coaching at neither of these programs now.
Columbia.
This is one of the best mid-major games.
Columbia, New Haven. It's New Haven's first of 2 games in 2 days at home. Columbia and then Penn State.
They could win both. They can't win both.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win either. They didn't look bad against UConn.
Was it them not looking bad, or was it UConn?
UConn was sluggish.
Okay. Yeah, not worried. One bit.
No. UConn has UMass Lowell tomorrow. UConn's first big game is next Saturday. I'll be there. BYU. Jonathan, we'll do another pod tomorrow night.
At Sam Fetterman Square Garden.
Wrong garden.
No, TD Garden.
We will have another pod for you late tomorrow night. After all the games. Recap those.
Give me one bold prediction for tomorrow.
Okay.
It can be a team getting upset in a bye game.
Okay, hold on.
A coach getting ejected. Really, anything.
I'm looking at the slate.
I'll give you your time here. I will absolutely give you some time.
What's your bold prediction?
I'm between a couple. I'll lay my options out, and then I will. I don't know how bold it is to say that like Navy's going to beat Yale tomorrow.
That's bold.
But
dude, that's bold.
It's a 6.5 point spread.
Dude, Yale is like going to be really good, and I'm low on Navy, but they were really good.
Between that, the one I will say, and I'll choose this.
Can I make my prediction?
Go.
Georgetown's going to beat Maryland.
Oh, dude, I thought you were. Yes, I agree with that, but I thought you were going to take something from me because the start of your sentence sounded like what I'm about to say. Georgia Tech is going to lose to Bryant tomorrow.
Dude, no, they're not.
Georgia Tech.
Dude, Bryant's bad.
Did you watch Georgia Tech on Monday?
Good point.
Dude, Georgia Tech on Monday needed overtime to beat Maryland Eastern Shore.
Hey, respect the Hawks.
56-52. Maryland Eastern Shore went out 2 nights later and barely scored half of the amount of points they had in an overtime game.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that as my bold prediction.
Georgetown
wins.
I love it. I think Georgetown's better than Maryland. I think the wrong team's favored.
Ken Palm underdogs.
The wrong team's favored.
Yeah.
Jeez, Doug Gottlieb's getting 6.5 at Buffalo tomorrow.
I'm also going to give you Sacred Heart. I don't think they're going to beat Duquesne, but that's going to be a game.
Give me who wins Kansas UNC and what is Darren Peterson's stat line tomorrow?
Kansas wins. Darren Peterson drops 23, 6, and 4.
I like it. I think Kansas wins as well.
Give me who wins Charleston Liberty.
Liberty. I think that Liberty team's really good, though.
I think Charleston's really good.
Charleston's good, too.
Give me who
I
wins
think Liberty's better.
Troy Furman.
Troy.
I'm going to go Furman. I think they bounce back.
Trying to think if there's any other things.
One more thing I want to talk about. Iowa, really, really good.
Yeah.
Ben McCollum, good ball coach.
Yeah, they won what, 101-69?
A lot to a little, 101-69.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you saw, Ade Mara had 12 points, 12 rebounds, 5 blocks in like 19 minutes.
I did. All right. Who's gonna win? Hofstra at Iona.
Give me the Gales.
Okay.
Hofstra did look good.
This is Iona's first game.
Give me the Gales, though.
And last but certainly not least, Mississippi Valley State plus 29.5 KenPom line. Well, it's 29. I'm going to give you 29.5 KenPom line against Murray State.
Oh, Murray State covers that.
Easily.
They may cover that in the first half.
Murray State might win this game by 40.
Before we go, last thing. Give me the percent chance that Tyron Stokes plays in a college basketball game this year.
16.
Oddly specific, but I like it.
16.3.
I don't even know if he can be eligible.
I don't have an On3 subscription, so I don't know. Well, he was a reclass candidate over the summer, right?
Yeah, but what doesn't?
Didn't he not reclass because he wouldn't be eligible?
I have no idea. I was just
fuck it. I'm texting Sam Lance.
I was more asking you to get a idea of how absurd you think it is.
We got to get Sam Lance on here to talk about that.
We do.
He'll be on here soon enough.
I'll shoot him over a text. I got to do the points for our league tonight.
All right, Jonathan.
I was so happy that I gained points for Northern Iowa, and then Loyola.
Hey, LIU got me some points.
Ridiculous.
All right, Jonathan, you want to take us home?
Shout out IUND.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how we didn't talk about this for 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Most watchable team in college basketball, regardless of
I watched this game from start to finish. I could not take my eyes off the screen.
Most watchable team, regardless of region, regardless of division.
I went to sear my steak. And I literally kept looking back at the screen to watch the game because it was that good.
They're awesome.
I don't know if this team is any good. I have no idea how many games they're going to win. They could win 4 games. They could win 14 games. They could win 24 games. I don't care. I will be watching all of them.
Oh my God. They are the most watchable team in the sport, regardless of region, regardless of conference, regardless of level. It is a style that we don't ever see in the sport. We don't really see it in most levels of serious basketball at all. But Ben Heller,
I've watched Nova Southeastern games. I have. I watched Gannon film because of Ernest Shelton and Tazzy Goodrich. I watched West Liberty film because I was
you were intrigued.
The Heller story. I've watched this before, but there's a difference between watching it on film, watching it when it's a D2 game, and then watching it at the D1 level live as it happens in November. Oh my God.
You said it perfectly. I have no idea if this will work or if it won't work, but it will be watchable in every aspect of the word.
All right, Jonathan, you want to take us home?
If you came to hear about Tyler Self and where he works, you came to the right place. If you came to hear about Loyola losing to Mercyhurst, congrats to those Mercyhurst folks.
Lakers.
You came to the right place. And if you came to hear about the latest happenings with Caleb Grill, you came to the right place. This has been Season 6, Episode 48 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bit Stealers. We'll see you tomorrow night to preview the weekend.